Hello and welcome back to OpenRCT2. Last time we built this epic rainbow bridge, the Bifrost across Asgard region, along with the other scenery and rides such as all these Thor's hammer themed thingies, and we're gonna continue with the scenery and stuff with even more detail thanks to the cutaway view. Look at that. I briefly glimpsed on it in the last session when I was looking for the extra viewport thing, but this cutaway view is amazing. It allows me to build scenery with even more detail. I already built these statues here and those sphinxes and some pathways and whatnot, which normally wouldn't be visible because when you take away the cutaway view you can barely see them, and it would be hard to build down here. You'd have to like hide everything, and you can't even hide these abstract things. They're there no matter what you hide. Like now I've got everything hidden except for the moving rides and the water, and still the rainbow bridge is visible, blocking things, but not anymore thanks to the cutaway view, which I can enable just like that. It's amazing. I also added some walls inside here to make that hallway there look better, although you can only see it with the cutaway view. Anyway, we're gonna use this to improve upon the scenery and also build scenery over here between these mountains. Like this one has barely anything in it. Same over here. We can put all kinds of things in there now easily thanks to the cutaway view. And it's in all its glory and amazingness. I still have a few grievances with it, or more like one grievance and two improvement suggestions. The grievance is that why didn't they add a keyboard shortcut for this thing? Why not? I always have to select it from there. Even in the development version, there's no keyboard shortcut for that thing. Nothing. And once they do add that, they should also add some sort of buttons for these, like the scroll bar or these things here, to make it easier. Now the easiest way is to hover over this and use the mouse wheel to change it like that, but this scroll thing here is not as accurate as this thing. This goes like 0.5 on each click, while this one goes like 2.5 or something like that. But amazing tool anyway. Oh yeah, and the improvement suggestions along with the shortcut keys, one of them would be to slice away only one layer, just like you can do in some games, such as all the way back in 1997 in XCOM Apocalypse. You could only show like one layer, while this one shows everything below this cutaway point. So you should also have like a secondary cutaway point below. That way you could show one or more levels with this thing. And then what the hell was the other improvement suggestion? Oh yeah, it has to do with demolishing scenery. While this cutaway view is activated, it's great that you can build scenery or see how to build scenery behind things, but if you try to delete something, it still takes into account everything that's hidden. Like for example, let's see if I can destroy this sphinx here. Oh yeah, that was possible, so that was a bad example. But let's see, I was trying to at some point destroy this wall, but if I right click on it, even though it says wall on the tool tip there, you can see that there's actually stuff in the way here, and it'll end up destroying those instead. So let's go down to this view and right click on wall. Oh, actually that one worked. What about this one? Huh, wait a minute, how is it working now? And now I'm actually using a stable version. I was testing it in the development version, and when I tried to demolish that wall, I kept destroying these pipes that were in the way. Or did I just get super lucky? Like here, there should definitely be a pipe in the way. Ah, looks like it works. Okay, then I guess they fixed that, but how the hell was it not working in the development version? Oh well. Good thing it's fixed. Let's load up this save so I don't have to rebuild those things and get to work on something. Activate the cutaway view. It's nice that it also remembers the height thing there. And also already used it to correct some coloring on these coasters, because for example down there I had accidentally painted them with this alternate color scheme number 2, and it should be the main color scheme. So let's get to it. I'm gonna add some things around here to finalize the Asgard section. After all, there's not much space to add anything more. So many rides already in such a short space. Although it doesn't technically have its own coaster. Oh, actually, yes, these two are technically roller coasters, but they're not as complex and such like the circuit coasters. These are only back and forth style. Well, let's add scenery anyway and complete the Asgard section. Looks like I wasn't wrong about some of the hidden stuff being destroyed sometimes when you right click. Like if I hover the mouse over here, it says glass roof instead of base block or whatever that thing is called. So it seems like it's only working sometimes. Like here I'm trying to destroy this statue and it says glass roof. So how the hell did I manage to destroy these walls earlier? Well, now it's saying wall there, but here, look at that, it says pipe section. What if I switch into a wall? Does that help? No, now it says pipe section again. What the hell? How did I get it to work earlier? Pole, pipe section, what is going on? And this here also seems to change. Like sometimes it's 0 point something, like negative. Here, down here it should be -7, but now it's 0. For some reason, so I changed the baseline of it. Let's see if I open it again, what happens now? It's saying 15. Damn it. What does it say here? Yeah, it says pole again. How do I change it back to the way it worked before? Is it because I have something hidden now? What's happening here? Let's see if I save the game. Although now I overwrote the save, but let's load it up and then see what happens with the cutaway view. Now it's at 18 again. It seems like it worked when it was at the negatives and whatnot. Like the numbers were from -7 to whatever, but now it's from 0 to 255 for some reason. What happened? I want it back. I want to destroy this thing. Oh, now it's saying Egyptian statue. What about over here? Yeah, now it's working again. What the hell? I guess I have to reload the game every time or something. I was gonna build a Roman statue here instead. Because after all, in the movies, there were all kinds of warrior and other statues in Asgard. Let's switch that one as well. Gotta make sure that I actually destroy the Egyptian statue, not something else that's in front of it. Well, Thor's hammer is complete. I was gonna add a long ass lightning bolt to it using these poles, but it seems like there's a glitch. Because if I raise this all the way up here, it starts generating those ghost images indefinitely up there. Of course, I could still do it because those reset once you load up the game, they're gone. But let's just leave it like that. It's a nice little lightning bolt hitting the Thor's hammer, which was quite a project to make, or to get their size right and all that, and especially the stem. At first I tried to make it by like 3x3, but that seemed too thick and not round enough, so now it's 3x2 as a compromise. Because if I made it 2x2, I would have to use the cheat to disable clearance checks to get it to go through the ride itself, but that seemed to also glitch the ride out so that it like ended here at the bottom where the first piece of scenery went through it. Although it could have been only when I disabled the cheat again, so I'd have to leave it on indefinitely, but then that would make building scenery much harder, because then things wouldn't stack automatically like that. They would just go inside each other and I'd have to manually raise the mouse up here to build the next piece and such. But anyway, now we got the hammer. It's got these rune things on the side. Those are supposed to represent the rune that is on the side, which is like 3 elliptical shapes intertwining, or actually I think it's one continuous line making 3 sort of parabolic loop things. And this of course is the lightning striking the top. And it's also got these bars on this side, which I can't build on this side though, because the wall has to be 1 square or whatever this way due to the ride interjecting. And the stem here doesn't even, or handle, doesn't even go all the way down because the rides are in the way. You could use the cheat there, but now let's leave it like that. It's floating a little bit. After all, Thor can control it to float, so it's not a big issue. Let's put a little finishing touch there so that it's even on all sides. Same over here. Although actually, let's take out those walls. There we go. Now it's even Steven. And then I also added this structure at the base. Let's do the cutaway view so we can see it better. And disable the rides. There you can see it's got all kinds of different roofs on it. And this balcony here to get rid of some of the supports coming from the Platinum Falcon above. And inside all kinds of surprises. There's fountains and statues and gazebos and abstract shapes. And speaking of abstract, or speaking of shapes, I added a bunch of snowflakes around here for the Jotunheim people, the frost giants, to attack with. And speaking of Jotunheim, someone pointed out that another realm in the Norse mythology, I think it was Niflheim or something, is actually the ice world, but then when I looked up the Marvel version of it, they described it as a dark, icy world at the edge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so this is more based on the Marvel MCU instead of actual Norse mythology. And after all, the frost giants come from here alongside other giants, but the frost giants, they can freeze things with their powers, so it makes sense to have all kinds of ice things in there, and snow as well. So yeah, there's the hammer, and then I added a bunch of vegetation over here. We got the cherry blossom trees, and what are those yellow looking things called? These things, Voss's laburnum trees, because they're also exotic looking and different colored than all the other green ones, so I decided to use those along with some of these bushes and some abstract shapes in there as well. And also define, although actually this border was already here, but this is now fully defined with the fin seeds all around. And then let's cut away into the Valhalla building here, whatever this is. We got all kinds of stuff in there now. such as Egyptian statues. Where was it? Over here, guarding this ice cube, which could be a representation of the Tesseract, or like a copy of it, or the what was it called? Some sort of winter device that the giants used to freeze stuff, and Loki also used it to freeze Heimdall. So that could be it. And then there's also all these abstract walls that you can see through, and behind them over here we have a bunch of treasure chests so that you can see the riches of Asgard. And then on this side we have cannonballs representing the armory, and some cannonballs in there as well. We got more treasures there, and this one has like a stone thingy that could be some sort of treasure as well, and that one has statues in it, or they could actually be like even prisoners inside the vault, as seen in the second movie. Speaking of prisoners, how could I implement the destroyer in here? Well, he's like a big ass metal statue. Don't really have any specifically metal looking statues in here. I guess he could be one of these statues, or there could be multiple destroyers in there, who knows. And then also added this hidden sphinx inside that building there, and a bunch of bulrushes. Yeah, that's what they're called, these little aquatic plants in here and all over the pond here, or river or whatever. And more of these yellow trees, which name I already forgot. Vos's laburnum. That is such a weird name. Maybe it's named after some Voss guy, or laburnum, or whatever his name is. I've got those trees over here as well now, and along with the jungle bush thingies. And this little structure here with an Egyptian looking thing on top, and more abstract buildings over here covering this Thor ride, and some of the queue as well. And water features over here, spout there, or whirly, twirly, whatever. This thing, water spout. Oh, these are both. No, actually, that's a fountain. This is a water spout. Another one there, and a few fountains there. Let's turn around and cut even deeper. And also these statues. Some of them weren't here before, along with the flowers. And then, was there anything else? Oh yeah, I had to take these medieval looking fence thingies. They're actually not in here, they're under the medieval theming wooden fences. I had to take them out from the inside because they were keeping the boats from getting through, but now they can row through just fine. I could even hide something inside this thing, or this thing. So many possibilities now with the cutaway view.